The Decatur Public Library is strengthening the community educationally, economically, and culturally through its vast resources. Here today to talk about an exhibit that is currently at the library and also to give us some book recommendations are Becky and Katie. Welcome to ciLiving.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, so tell me about all this exhibit that you have there. I know you kicked off with
We had a reception on Tuesday night.
And then what is going on the rest of the month?
We have three programs that are going to go with it. And the first one is going to be March 20th at 6 p.m. in the Madden Auditorium, and that's Laura Keyes presents Lucy Pettigrew, station operator on the Underground Railroad.
Okay.
And she's going to tell the story of, it's a one-man show kind of a thing. Where she's going to tell the story of Lucy,
an actual
who
conductor.
is an actual conductor on the Underground Railroad.
From Peoria, I think.
I believe so, yeah. And then April 5th, we have Chris Valillo, who is going to present Songs of the Illinois Freedom Road. He wrote this snippet of songs just for this exhibit, and he travels with the exhibit. He's part of it. And then the last one will be on April 29th at 6:30, and that's Connie Martin presents Pre-Civil War Quilts, The Secret Codes to Freedom on the Underground Railroad.
I remember learning about that in school, the Underground Railroad quilt. So that is so cool. So are these actual like artifacts, or these replicas, or sort of what is this exhibit?
So the exhibit itself is funded through Looking for Lincoln, an organization in Springfield, and Heather Fezor is the one who curated the exhibit, created it, got funding for it, and it is going to libraries and other venues throughout Illinois through the rest of the year, and it actually started at the end of last year in Springfield. The exhibit itself is images and stories and first-person narratives from what they have gotten from records, histories, slave narratives, etc. And there's also a video piece that they have taped, so it's like you're watching a movie of some of the enslaved people, actors portraying those people and people who were conductors, and that video is playing throughout, so you can sit and watch that and look at the exhibit. So, and then the programs are all, of course, go with the subject of the exhibit.
A part of that.
Yeah.
That looks like such a cool exhibit, and I see people are already there enjoying it, so that's great. And then I see you've brought some books for us.
We did.
What books do you have here? They all seem to also sort of be right on theme.
Yes, so we have a couple, these are all available for checkout at the library. We have Underground Railroad in Illinois, which is a great book that's obviously specific to Illinois, and so is the exhibit. And it is actually in the form of questions and answers, so it's really accessible. It's really great to flip open and just read a little bit. It's not as heavy as some nonfiction history books can be, so I highly recommend that for really any age.
A quick, easy read.
Absolutely. And then we have Escape Betwixt Two Suns. So this is another book that is about Illinois history and their part in the Underground Railroad. So we have those. This one is, I picked this one because its relationship to the quilts. It's called Hidden in Plain View, The Secret Story of Quilts and the Underground Railroad. And since we have Connie Martin coming to do that program, I thought it would be great to have a book that talks about how they used quilts as symbols for freedom seekers.
Right.
And that's such a fascinating
Such a fascinating concept.
So she'll be bringing quilts with her. Some of them would be reproductions, and then, but she has some ancestors that were actually freedom seekers in Illinois. So that's a really fun, that'll be a really fun program. And then
personal local touch for sure.
Yes. And then this one is the From Midnight to Dawn. And it's just, again, another nonfiction book about the Underground Railroad. And then I picked this one because while we don't want to trivialize the Underground Railroad, it has been taken into fiction and science fiction in this case. And so this is actually the first book in a series of books about these two people who were conductors, or who were enslaved folks who became free and were helping people through the Underground Railroad. And this places them in sort of a mystery detective sort of setting. And so I thought that was kind of fun too, because there's a lot of fiction and historical fiction is very popular. So
Right.
there are some really lovely ways that this history has been adapted into maybe a more attainable piece for some folks.
Yeah, and I like the variety that you brought. If you want something lighter, but still, you know, this is extremely relevant to this specific exhibit. And then if you're a fiction fan, because some people just, you know, have their genre of books that they read, and so then they can still participate.
And historical fiction is a gateway into learning about what actually happened. A lot of people will use it as a way to go, okay, so I heard about this. It's a really cool thing that happened. Let's find out what really happened. So it's a nice segue piece.
Absolutely, because I feel like when you're reading fiction, you have questions, or especially if it's a book club book or something like that.
Right.
And do you need a library card to come to the exhibit, or is the exhibit for everybody?
Absolutely not. All of our programs and the exhibit in the building are open to anyone at any time. You absolutely don't need a library card for that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here and
Thank you
sharing
for
about
having us.
the exhibit and all of these awesome books. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want more information, you can visit us on the web at ciLiving.tv after the show.